Hi guys, happy Monday. This is a preview for the performance part of the unit assessment. All right, the information below shows the price of chicken at 3 different grocery stores. For each store, Y represents the total cost, and X represents the weight in pounds. Store A is represented by this equation, store B by the table, store C by the graph. Okay, so for slope, I need to look at each of the situations. All right, so how do I find slope from an equation? Slope in an equation, y equals mx plus b. Which one is the slope? So the slope is the m. So that means in this situation, my slope is 8.66. And that's it. I don't have to solve anything. All right, from a table, I do need to solve a little bit. I need to find my change in y, and I need to find my change in x. All right, so I'm going to use my calculator to do that. Let me get it. So I'm going to do 5.60 minus 2.80. And I get 2.8 on this side. And then on this side, I do 0.4 minus 0.2, which gets me 0.2. So now my m is the change in y divided by my change in x, which in this case is 2.8 divided by 0.2. And when I do that in my calculator, I get 14. All right, store C is from a graph. So whenever we have from a graph, we need to first make a table. So I need to pick some points. So I see this point is 1, 10, and the next point, 1, 10. Sorry, I'm having a hard time seeing this, so you probably are too. Let's say our points are 0, 0, and then 1, 10. All right, so that means my slope is plus 10 plus 1. So my change in y is 10 divided by my change in x is 1. So when I divide that, I get 10. All right, so what does this mean for all of our representations? What do these numbers mean? The numbers, remember with slope, is always the change in y divided by the change in x, or the change in y per the change in x. So our y, if we look back at our sentence up here, our y was the total cost. So that means for this, I'm going to put, it represents the total cost per whatever the x represents. So let's look at what the x represented. The x represented the weight in pounds. All right, so it's the total cost per pound. Okay, and I can also see that from my graph and my table. Okay, it's always the y value per the x value. All right, so now using that information, we're going to answer these questions. Which store had the most expensive chicken? Now remember, this represents the cost per pound, so let's write that in context. So that's $88.60 per 1 pound of chicken. This one is $14 per 1 pound. This one is $10 per 1 pound. So which chicken is the most expensive? And most expensive means highest money. So store B has the most expensive chicken because it cost $14 per pound. Remember, LB is just a shortened abbreviation for pound. All right, which store has the least expensive chicken? So when I'm talking about least expensive, now I'm talking about my lowest money. And Miss Mish is a bargain shopper, so I'd want to go to this store. So what store would I want to go to for the least amount? Store A. Okay, if you purchase 3 pounds of chicken from store A, how much would it cost? So, if I was given an equation for store A, it was 8.66x plus 0, and I'm talking about 3 pounds of chicken. Was my pounds x or y? Pounds is x, so that means x equals 3. So if you remember way back from our last unit about substituting in, I can use this to figure out a prediction of my cost. So all I have to do is substitute in for x and simplify. So when I do that, I get $25.98. So let's write a conclusion sentence. Three pounds of chicken from store A costs $25.98. Now you can do that for any of your store B and store C as well, as long as you make an equation and substitute. All right. If you have any questions, type them in at the end of the video. We'll see you tomorrow.